Hi, my name is Cameron. I am the watch specialist here at American Antiques and Jewelry. Did you know that only 4 watches on this tray are real and authentic? In order to determine whether or not the watch is real or fake, we're going to go over 4 different sections of the watch to determine whether or not you have the right product. So the 4 parts that we're going to use to determine whether or not it's real or fake is the case, bezel, crystal, the band, the markings on the band and the case, and also the movement of the watch. Section number 1, we're going to talk about the case, bezel, and crystal. So with these 3 parts, since they're all attached, we're going to talk about the material, whether it's polished or brushed, and the perfection of the material and or how it feels in your hand. So first of all, the watch we have here is a Rolex Datejust. It's an older model from the late 70s. So on this model, we're going to talk about how it's got a 18 karat yellow gold case. So it's marked 18 karat. And also it's got an 18 karat yellow gold fluted bezel and a plexiglass crystal. So with this model, they didn't put the sapphire crystal, as seen in this watch right here, on until later. It was later on. So with this watch, we're going to talk about how the case is brushed here, and then if you look on the sides, it is polished. So that is very typical to all the Rolex models. Typical to, the new ones and the old ones, and it's something that a fake will oftentimes screw up as well. So if you look right where my pointer is pointing, it says 18 karat, and it's a very good mark. It's very clean, very sharp, so therefore we can take that into consideration as being one of the steps towards being real. So holding this watch, it actually feels very heavy, and that's because it is real 18 karat gold. Real 18 karat gold is very dense, so it will be very heavy. So if the watch that you have supposedly says like Rolex Day Date on it, Rolex Datejust, and it's yellow gold like this, and you're unsure about it, and you pick it up and it's very light, chances are it's not going to be it's not authentic, and it won't be made out of real gold. Moving on to section 2, we have the band. And on the band, we're going to go over the same virtual 3 steps that we went over with the case, bezel, and crystal. With the band, as you can see here, so this is that same Rolex Datejust that we were talking about earlier. With the band, you see it's got a president-style band. So with this, it's got a hidden clasp. So if you were to open it like this, it opens up real nice. You can see the clasp. This is made out of 18 karat gold. On the inside here, it's all marked perfectly. All the stamps are very clean, very sharp, and you're able to see them and determine that yes, in fact, this is a real piece. Being 18 karat gold, as we mentioned before, it's also very heavy. So the last part on the band here, as you can see, the links are together by screws. Rolex only makes the bands together and the links together via screw. They don't use the push-through links. As you can see on this one, this watch right here is a replica or fake of a Rolex President. As you can see here, it's not very good quality. It's very light. As you can see in the band on the authentic one here, the band is very shiny, and on this one it just looks very dull. And if you look right here on the clasp, it's just overall poor quality. When you open it, I barely touched it and it just opened. And it's not, if you compare it to the previous one, here it's not even marked. So this isn't even gold. It's not made out of any material besides maybe base metal. As we mentioned towards the last part in the authentic one, on the real one, these are actually push-through pins. They are not screws. So now on to the third section. We're going to continue on with the markings. So as you see here, the Rolex logo is very clear. There aren't any mistakes in it. Yes, it is worn because the band is worn, but it's still very clear, very crisp. As you see right here, it says 750 in the shadow of my pointer here. that just is saying that it's 18 karat gold. If you're moving down to where it says Geneve, it's just saying where it was made, and all Rolexes are Swiss, so that it was made in Switzerland, as it says right here, Swiss made. So, moving on to the case here with the markings, as you can see it says registered design, and it says 1601, so that is the reference number, and as you're looking at the watch, that is in between the 12 o'clock lugs. So on a Rolex, there's going to be two different numbers on the older models. You're going to have the reference number in between the 12 o'clock and the serial number in between the 6 o'clock. I can flip it around here, it's kind of hard to see. There you go. So, starting with about 5 million there. This watch dates to around the late 1970s, so 1978, 1979. As you notice here real quick on the fake watch, there are no markings on the band. And if I can show you here real quick, in between the lugs, this is the 6 o'clock. In between the lugs, there's nothing. So in our fourth and final section here, I have a picture of a real Rolex movement. As you can see here, it says 3135. So that is the reference number of this movement. It is a 31 jewel automatic. The movement that we took a picture of is a Rolex date, so it's a little bit smaller. But as you can see on the movement here, on a real Rolex movement, they're going to have red ratchet wheels, and they're going to use brass gears as well. And it's going to be just high quality, as you can see here, with the detail and whatnot. Everything is crisp, everything is sharp as it should be. So when looking at these two together, granted this is a picture, this is a fake Rolex movement, it's a Chinese movement. You know, all Rolex movements are going to look very similar to this one on the right here, except for the new ones. This is an older model, but unlike this one, it's poor quality, the materials aren't very good. Sure, it is running, sure it will operate, but it's not nearly as accurate, and it's just not up to the Swiss standards. And you can notice here on the fake Rolex here that the material isn't very good, and they're also using a plastic insert. As you noticed on the real one, there was no plastic insert, everything fit perfectly. There was no need to do any of that, and you know, like this one's just not up to snuff on, you know, the quality. So even though we only looked at Rolexes today, this can apply to actually many high-end watch manufacturers as well. Just use those 4 sections we talked about earlier in the video, and it should help you on your way to finding the right product.